One of the words that causes the most anxiety for students is plagiarism. Many learners hear the term frequently, but surprisingly, many are never given a simple explanation of what plagiarism actually is. As a result, some students become overly worried. Others accidentally make mistakes without realizing it. So in this video, we are going to look at what plagiarism is and how you can avoid it confidently. Let's begin with a simple definition. Plagiarism happens when you present someone else's work, ideas, or words as if they were your own. In other words, you use information without giving proper credit to the original source. Many students think plagiarism only happens when someone deliberately copies an entire piece of work. But plagiarism can occur in smaller ways too. For example, copying sentences directly from a website, using someone's ideas without acknowledging them, submitting another person's work as your own, or closely changing a few words while keeping the original structure. All of these can be considered plagiarism. Now here's the important part. Research is not about avoiding sources. Research depends on sources. You are expected to learn from experts. You are expected to read studies. You are expected to use information. The goal is not to avoid using other people's work. The goal is to use it properly. So how do you avoid plagiarism? The first step is understanding. When you read information, take time to understand it before writing. Many plagiarism issues happen because students copy information they do not fully understand. When you understand the idea, it becomes much easier to explain it in your own words. The second step is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means expressing information in your own words while keeping the original meaning. You are not simply replacing a few words. You are explaining the idea as you understand it. This demonstrates learning, and it shows independent thinking. The third step is keeping track of your sources. Whenever you collect information, make a note of where it came from. This makes it much easier to reference sources later, and it reduces the risk of accidentally using information without acknowledgement. The fourth step is being honest about what is yours and what came from a source. Research is a learning process. No one expects you to know everything. What matters is that you clearly show where your information comes from. One common misconception is that using sources is a weakness. In reality, using credible sources properly is a strength. It shows that your work is informed by evidence, and strong research is built on evidence. Remember this, research is not about copying. It is not about pretending someone else's ideas are your own. It is about learning, understanding, analyzing, and communicating knowledge responsibly. When you approach research this way, plagiarism becomes much easier to avoid, and your confidence as a researcher begins to grow. If you would like a structured guide that helps you build strong research habits from the beginning, my Research Starter Toolkit is available in the About section of this channel. It is designed for learners aged 13 and above, as well as adult beginners who want a clear and practical introduction to research. On this channel, we will continue breaking research into simple, practical steps. If that would help you, consider subscribing. Because when you understand research properly, you spend less time worrying about mistakes and more time focusing on learning.